Okay. Let me ask you a weird question. Have you ever practiced English alone in your room, talking to the mirror, saying things like, "Hello, how are you? I am fine, thank you. And you?" And then the moment a real human being speaks to you in English, your brain just dies, like completely shuts down. You forget your name, you forget grammar, you forget every English word you've ever learned since childhood. Suddenly you're just standing there like, "Yes, hello, me, English, little, sorry." Why does that happen? Like, seriously, why? You studied, you watched videos, you learned grammar, you memorized vocabulary, but when it's time to actually speak, nothing. Just fear, awkward silence, sweaty hands, and a brain that suddenly decides to leave the chat. Today, we're talking about something that might sound scary, maybe even crazy, but it might be the one habit that changes everything. Talking to strangers. Yep, real people. People you don't know. People who don't care if your grammar is perfect. People who are not your teacher. People who are not your textbook. Actual humans. And before you panic and click away, no, we're not telling you to walk up to random people in the street and say, "Excuse me, sir, please fix my present perfect tense." No. But today, we're going to explain why talking to strangers might actually be the habit that fixes your English faster than almost anything else. And to help me break this down, as always, the wonderful Emma is here. Emma, welcome back.
Jake, first of all, that me English little sorry thing, painfully accurate. I feel like every English learner on earth just felt personally attacked.
I know, because we've all been there. Like, you practice in private and suddenly you feel like, "Oh yeah, I got this. I can speak English." Then a real person says, "Hey, how's it going?" And your brain says, "Abort mission."
Exactly. And honestly, this happens because learning English and using English are two different things. That's where people get stuck. A lot of learners think, if I study more grammar, I'll become fluent. But fluency isn't built in silence. Fluency is built in conversation, messy conversation, awkward conversation, imperfect conversation, real conversation.
And that's terrifying for people, because talking to strangers sounds like social anxiety with extra grammar mistakes.
Yes, exactly. Like, imagine already being nervous talking to strangers in your own language. Now do it in English. That sounds like emotional damage.
Emotional damage with vocabulary.
Yes, but here's the crazy part. That fear, that exact uncomfortable feeling, that's where improvement starts.
Okay, wait. Let's talk about this because I think a lot of people listening right now are saying, "Nope, not me. I'm not talking to strangers. I'd rather fight a bear."
Honestly, some people would. But think about it. Why do children learn language so fast? They don't study grammar books. They don't memorize irregular verbs first. They interact. They listen. They respond. They make mistakes. They get corrected. They keep going. Adults often do the opposite. We hide. We study forever. We wait to be perfect. We prepare and prepare and prepare, but we don't actually speak.
And that waiting becomes dangerous, because people tell themselves, "I'll start speaking when I'm ready." And then, 1 year later, still not ready. 2 years later, still not ready. 5 years later, still watching YouTube videos titled, "Speak English Fluently in 7 Days."
Jake, don't expose people like that.
I'm exposing myself too, because the truth is, we love preparation because preparation feels safe. Conversation? Conversation is unpredictable. You don't know what people will say. You don't know what words you'll need. You can't pause real life and open Google Translate every 3 seconds. That's scary. But it's also real practice.
Yes, and this is the big secret people miss. Talking to strangers forces your brain to use English in real time, not memorize it. Use it. That changes everything.
Let's explain that in simple language. What actually happens in your brain?
Okay, imagine grammar and vocabulary as tools. Studying gives you tools, but conversation teaches you how to use them quickly. When someone asks you something unexpectedly, your brain has to listen, understand, find words, build a sentence, say it out loud, adjust if something goes wrong.
Exactly.
And all of that happens
Conversation
fast.
is like going to the gym for your
Like a
speaking
mental
muscles.
workout.
Reading grammar is like watching workout videos. Useful? Yes. But watching workout videos does not give you abs.
I knew it. I knew those YouTube fitness videos lied to me.
No, Jake. Eating pizza while watching workout videos lied to you.
Wow, that was personal.
But seriously, English works the same way. People consume lessons all day. Podcasts, videos, grammar apps, vocabulary flashcards. And then they wonder, why can't I speak naturally? Because input alone is not enough. You need output.
Okay, but I can hear someone listening right now saying, fine, but why strangers? Why not just talk to my friends?
Great question. Talking to friends helps too, but strangers give you something different. They give you unpredictability. Your friend already knows you. They understand your habits. Sometimes they help too much. Sometimes they switch languages. Strangers? No safety net.
That sounds terrifying again.
A little, yes, but also powerful, because strangers make your brain adapt.
Can you give an example?
Absolutely. Imagine talking to your friend in English. They know what you mean even if your sentence is broken. You say, yesterday, go, market, buy thing. And your friend goes, oh, yeah, I understand.
Mercy translation.
Exactly. Friendship grammar. But a stranger? They may say, wait, what? And now you have to try again. Different words, clearer sentence, better explanation. That process improves fluency fast.
That makes sense. It forces you to communicate, not just survive.
Yes. And something else happens too. You realize something important. Most strangers do not care if your English is imperfect.
Oh, this one is huge.
Huge. Because learners imagine strangers like this. Aha! You used the wrong preposition. Failure!
Grammar police.
Yes. But real people? Most are just trying to communicate. They're not grading you. They're not sitting there with a red pen.
Nobody says, excuse me, before answering, please fix your article usage.
Exactly. Most people are thinking about themselves, not judging your English. And when learners realize that, a lot of fear disappears.
Can I confess something?
Always.
I used to think, if I made one mistake speaking English, people would think I'm stupid. And that fear made me speak less, not more.
That's such a common fear. And honestly, it's not really an English problem. It's a confidence problem.
Oof, that hit hard.
Because think about it. If a foreigner speaks your language imperfectly, do you think they're stupid?
No, I usually think, wow, respect. They're trying.
Exactly. So why do we assume people judge us more harshly?
Because humans are dramatic.
Correct answer.
And honestly, sometimes the best English practice comes from weird, random conversations. Like tiny conversations. Asking directions, ordering coffee, talking online, commenting on something. Small talk. Those moments seem small, but they build confidence.
Yes. People think fluency comes from one giant moment. It doesn't. It comes from hundreds of tiny moments. Tiny awkward moments. Tiny brave moments. Tiny conversations. That's how speaking becomes natural.
And when we come back, we're talking about why learners fear strangers so much, the psychology behind it, and Emma's story about the most awkward English conversation of her life, which I absolutely need to hear.
Oh no, I regret agreeing to this already.
Too late. Stay with us. This is Beyond Words Podcast. Welcome back to Beyond Words Podcast, where today we are talking about something that sounds terrifying, but might secretly fix your English: talking to strangers. And Emma, before the break, you accidentally promised us a story, a painfully awkward English conversation story.
Jake, I did not promise. You trapped me.
Correct. And now the people deserve the story.
Okay. This happened years ago when my English was not great. Like, technically alive but struggling level.
A strong educational level description.
Exactly. So, I'm traveling, and I walk into a little cafe. Simple mission, easy. Buy coffee, say thank you, leave. That's it. And in my head, I had practiced. Oh, I had practiced.
Mirror English?
Mirror English, shower English, imaginary interview English, all of it. I'm standing in line thinking, you got this, Emma. You know this sentence. This is literally coffee. Humans do this every day. Then the cashier smiles and says, "Hey, how's your day going?"
Oh no. The surprise question.
Yes, the ambush question. Because I prepared for, "I'd like a coffee." I did not prepare for emotional conversation.
You trained for coffee, not feelings.
Exactly. And my brain left my body, gone, disappeared. And I said, "Yes,
No.
yes." He said, "How's your day going?" And I answered, "Yes."
That's incredible. That is beautiful failure.
It gets worse. Because then he looked confused and asked, what can I get for you?" And now I panicked more, and instead of saying, "I'd like a latte," I said, "I want milk hot bean drink."
Milk hot bean drink? Emma, you ordered coffee like a confused alien.
I know. I forgot the word coffee. Coffee, the thing I came to buy.
This is why language learning is chaos.
And Jake, in that moment, I wanted to disappear, like physically evaporate. I thought, that's it. I'll never speak English again. I'm moving to the forest.
A dramatic but understandable reaction.
But here's the important part. Do you know what happened?
Tell me.
The cashier smiled and said, "Oh, a latte." And I said, "Yes." And then, that was it.
Wait, that's it?
That's it. No humiliation, no public execution, no grammar police, no dramatic movie scene. Just communication.
That's such a good lesson. Because in our heads, mistakes feel huge. But in real life, most people just help you and move on.
Exactly. But our brains don't believe that. Our brains say, if you mess up, society will remember forever.
And society is like, bro, I just wanted my sandwich.
Yes, that's the truth. Most people are not analyzing your grammar. They're thinking about their own life.
So let's talk about this fear. Why do people get so scared speaking English to strangers?
Because language mistakes feel personal. When you make a grammar mistake in a book, no big deal. When you make a grammar mistake out loud, in front of another human, it feels like you are the mistake.
Wow, that's deep.
And that's why people avoid speaking. They think, if I don't speak, I can't embarrass myself.
But there's a hidden problem there.
Exactly. Avoidance feels safe, but it secretly makes fear stronger.
Explain that.
Okay, let's say you're afraid to talk to strangers in English. So you avoid it. At first, relief. You think, good, no embarrassment today.
Temporary peace.
Yes, but your brain learns something dangerous. It learns, oh, we avoided that situation. That must mean it was dangerous.
Oh.
So next time, the fear gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
That explains why people get stuck for years.
Exactly. Fear grows in avoidance. Confidence grows in exposure.
That should be on a t-shirt.
A very emotionally supportive t-shirt.
I'd wear it, probably while avoiding eye contact.
Honest king.
So what happens when someone starts talking to strangers regularly?
Something amazing. At first, terrifying, no question. You feel nervous, heart racing, sweaty hands, overthinking. But then, nothing terrible happens.
And your brain notices.
Exactly. You survive. Then you do it again, and again. And eventually your brain says, oh, wait, this isn't danger. This is just conversation.
That's huge.
Because fluency isn't just language skill. It's emotional skill too.
That's so true. Sometimes people know the words, but panic blocks everything.
Yes, panic steals access to language. That's why some learners speak better alone than with people.
Which is so frustrating.
Very frustrating. But practice with strangers helps remove that emotional panic.
And let's be honest, some of the fear is ego too.
Oh, yes, big topic.
Because adults hate looking bad.
Exactly. Children don't care. Kids say nonsense confidently. They're like, dog go moon banana. And everyone says, aw, adorable.
Adults say one wrong sentence and go, I must leave the country.
Yes, because adults want dignity. We want to sound smart, capable, confident, and beginner language doesn't feel like that.
That's painful but true. Speaking a new language can make smart people feel stupid.
Exactly. But here's the mindset shift. Making mistakes while learning does not make you stupid. Avoiding practice because of ego keeps you stuck.
Oof, another emotional t-shirt.
We're building a clothing line today.
And I think this is important too. Talking to strangers doesn't mean giving speeches. People imagine huge conversations.
Right, that's a mistake. A stranger conversation can be tiny.
Like what?
Simple things. Asking, excuse me, what time is it? Or, is this seat taken? Or online, commenting on a post, sending a short voice message, joining a language exchange. Tiny conversations count.
And those tiny wins matter.
So much. Because confidence builds from evidence, not motivation speeches.
Say that again.
Confidence builds from evidence. Every successful conversation, even imperfect ones, gives your brain proof. I can do this.
And proof beats fear.
Exactly.
Okay, when we come back, we're getting practical. How do you actually start talking to strangers without having a panic attack? How do beginners do this safely? And Emma is giving us a real challenge you can try this week. Which sounds suspicious and terrifying already.
Tiny terrifying, not full terrifying.
That's somehow worse. Stay with us. This is Beyond Words Podcast. Welcome back to Beyond Words Podcast. And today we're talking about the one habit that sounds scary, awkward, slightly emotionally dangerous, but might actually fix your English. Talking to strangers. And Emma, we've talked about the fear, the awkward moments, the psychology. Now, people listening are probably saying, okay, cool, but how do I actually do this without collapsing?
Fair question, because just talk to strangers sounds simple, but emotionally, it feels like climbing Mount Everest in flip-flops.
Emotionally accurate.
So let's make this practical. First, big mistake number 1. People think they need to start with long conversations.
Like becoming best friends with a stranger in English?
Exactly. No, that's too much pressure. Start tiny.
How tiny?
tiny enough that your brain doesn't panic. For example, say one sentence, that's it.
Wait, seriously?
Seriously, people overcomplicate this. A conversation can begin with, "Hi, excuse me, thank you, where are you from? What time is it?" That's interesting. Tiny things.
That sounds way less scary.
Because it is. Confidence grows step by step, not through emotional suicide missions.
New t-shirt.
Yes. Step 1, tiny conversations. Step 2, repeat often.
This part matters.
A lot. Because one conversation won't magically fix your English. It's repetition. Many conversations. Small conversations. Regular conversations. That's where change happens.
Like building a habit.
Exactly. And here's something listeners need to hear. Do not aim for perfect conversations. Aim for completed conversations.
Oh, that's good.
Because perfection makes people freeze. Completion builds confidence.
So instead of saying, I need to speak perfectly, say, I just need to finish the conversation.
Exactly.
That changes everything.
And let's talk about another huge mistake. People think mistakes are proof they failed.
When actually,
Mistakes are proof you practiced.
that's such an important difference.
Because learners say, "Oh no, I made mistakes."
And the truth is,
Good. That means you used real English. That means your brain worked. That means growth happened.
you know what's funny? People will practice English for years alone, then have one awkward conversation and think, I'm terrible.
Yes, but awkward first conversations are normal. Nobody becomes fluent in one brave moment.
It's like learning to ride a bike. You wobble first.
Exactly. And if you fall once and say, "Well, I guess biking isn't for me," that would be ridiculous.
Yet people do that with language all the time.
All the time.
Okay, practical question. Where can people actually talk to strangers?
Great question. A lot of places. Real life and online.
Let's list some.
Okay. Language exchange apps, online communities, gaming voice chats, travel groups, Discord communities, English club events, comment sections, social media DMs when appropriate, tourist areas, simple real-world interactions. Even customer service conversations count.
People forget that tiny real-life moments count.
Exactly. You don't need a TED Talk. You need reps.
Reps. Language gym.
Yes. And here's another tip. Prepare conversation starters.
Oh, smart.
Because beginners panic when they don't know how to begin. So prepare simple starters like, "Hi, where are you from? How long have you been learning English? What do you do? What kind of movies do you like? Have you been here before?" Simple, natural, easy.
And if conversation gets awkward?
Jake, conversations get awkward in every language.
True. People act like awkwardness is an English problem.
No, awkwardness is a human problem.
That should also be on a shirt.
We're making millions.
Terrible shirts. Great messages.
Exactly.
Okay, you promised a challenge.
Yes. And listeners, this is your challenge. Very simple.
I'm nervous already.
This week, talk to one stranger in English. One. Not 10, not 100. One.
That's manageable.
And the goal is not perfection. The goal is courage.
Important distinction.
Say one sentence. Ask one question. Respond naturally. Finish the interaction. That's it.
And if it's awkward?
Congratulations, you're learning.
I love that.
Because seriously, you know what fluency really is? It's not speaking perfectly. It's being comfortable even when things are imperfect.
Wow.
That's real fluency, not robot English, human English.
I think that's what people need to hear. Because so many learners think fluency means no mistakes, no pauses, perfect grammar.
No, fluent people pause. Fluent people forget words. Fluent people correct themselves. Fluent people laugh and continue. That's normal speech.
And learners think pauses mean failure.
No, pauses mean thinking. Humans do that.
Even native speakers say, wait, what was that word? All the time.
Exactly. Perfection is fake. Communication is real.
Emma, before we close, what would you say to the person listening right now, the one who understands English, studies English, but is scared to speak?
I'd say this. Your fear makes sense. Speaking a language in front of strangers is vulnerable. It's uncomfortable. It can make you feel exposed. But don't confuse discomfort with danger. They are not the same.
Wow.
That uncomfortable feeling, that racing heart, that nervous moment before speaking, that's not proof you can't do it. That's proof you're growing.
That's beautiful.
And remember this, nobody becomes fluent by hiding. Nobody becomes confident by waiting forever. Nobody becomes a speaker by staying silent.
Damn.
You don't need to be fearless. You just need to speak once. Then again. Then again.
Tiny, brave moments.
Exactly. That's how fluency is built.
I love that. Because maybe the stranger you're scared to talk to isn't the problem.
Maybe the conversation you're avoiding is the one that changes everything.
That's a perfect place to end.
For once, I agree.
And to everyone listening, this week, try it. One stranger, one sentence, one brave moment. That's all.
And if you mess up, welcome to language learning.
Exactly. Thank you for listening to Beyond Words podcast. If this episode helped you, share it with someone learning English. And remember, fluency doesn't begin when fear disappears. It begins when you speak anyway.
See you next time.
Take care, everybody. Bye.